guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. White House Correspondents' dinner shooting suspect Cole Allen will remain in jail for now.
Earlier, defense attorneys had argued in favor of Allen walking free ahead of his trial. They claim he was not prepared to carry out a mass shooting because he had a pump-action shotgun rather than an automatic or semi-automatic weapon. Federal investigators say Allen was carrying a fully loaded 12-gauge Mossberg Maverick shotgun with an extended magazine tube last Saturday night when he tried to rush through a Secret Service checkpoint. Allen's attorneys also point out their client having no criminal history or prior arrests. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Democrats have failed to curb Trump's Iran war powers ahead of a key deadline.
The Senate has once again rejected a Democratic effort led by Senator Adam Schiff to limit President Donald Trump's authority over ongoing military action in Iran. It makes the sixth failed attempt to advance war powers restrictions as a 60-day congressional deadline approaches. Republicans argue the president retains authority to continue operations during a drawdown period, while Democrats warn Congress is being sidelined. With lawmakers set to recess, the debate over authorization versus executive power remains unresolved and politically charged. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
The Trump administration is rolling back gun control rules from the Biden administration.
The Department of Justice is cutting unnecessary red tape and claim nothing we are doing today weakens law enforcement. One of the rules repealed is a 2024 rule from the Biden administration, which calls for firearms dealers to conduct background checks for buyers at gun shows and other non-traditional sales locations. Gun rights groups claim the rule violates the Second Amendment. Gun control groups say loosening the regulations will make the country less safe. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
At the closing bell, the Dow climbed 790 points, the S&P 500 rose 73 points, and the Nasdaq gained 219 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. StrongTel.
President Trump says he's considering wearing a bulletproof vest for added personal security amid renewed scrutiny of his protection.
I've been asked about that, and I guess it's something you consider. In one way, you don't like to do it because you're giving into a bad element, and so I don't know. But I have been asked about it.
The president joked that it could make him look around 20 pounds heavier when he was asked about it by reporters. Lawmakers are calling for a criminal investigation into the now closed sloth world in Orlando following the death of a rescued sloth named Bandit. Officials say at least 32 sloths died at that facility. Governor Ron DeSantis says the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is investigating.
There's this issue with this sloth world in Orlando. Like, honestly, I mean, it was really, really weird to me. I know FWC got involved, and I think that they're going to have to rectify whatever was the matter.
DeSantis expressed regret that he never visited that attraction before it shut down. Country music star LeAnn Rimes says she is suffering from a severe illness. She'd been forced to cancel and postpone her upcoming shows after falling ill during a Mexico vacation. Telling fans she's under medical care, recovering, and heartbroken she's going to miss these scheduled performances. For USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com.
Another dark night on the interstate. Another 100 miles in the pouring rain. These are worth all the time I've spent away. Another dark night on the interstate. I'm driving through the year, trying to make it right. My baby's at home, hope she's doing alright. Miss my dogs and I miss my girls. I'm 1,000 miles away from my old world.
Alrighty, cue the microphone. Just like that, we come full circle. As we get set for a Friday. Yes, indeed. Here we go. From time zone to time zone, turn the page on the calendar. Day number 1 in the month of May. Yes, indeed. All right, looking toward the weekend. TGIF. All right, trust you've had a good week. Welcome aboard the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Now, what are we looking at? A little cooler out there. 47 outside the secret bunker in southwest Ohio. And there's more where that came from. As in more cool weather. As we take a look at our traveler's weather around the country tonight. Hey, for the first night in some time, we're not contending with any severe weather. It's been a while since we've been able to say that. Now, we do have some shower activity. Still some lingering showers in the Great Lakes region. Spotty showers through southern portions of Wisconsin, southern Michigan. Yeah, northwest Ohio, northern Indiana, a lot of light to moderate rain through central and eastern Illinois. A lot of scattered shower activity in the southern tier of the country, anywhere from the southeast corner of Arizona. There's some spotty showers, southeastern New Mexico as well, through central and southern Texas. Precip again, scattered about through northern Louisiana. Yeah, a little bit of heavier rain in southeastern portions of Mississippi tonight. Some of that moving into southwestern Alabama. The big picture, we see freeze warnings once again. Tonight, we're looking at northern Michigan, central and southern Wisconsin. Freeze warnings for north central Pennsylvania. Frost advisories right down through the Appalachians, through eastern portions of West Virginia. Some of the higher elevations may actually see freezing temperatures as well. Frost advisories again stretching from northern Kansas, eastern Nebraska, on up into southern portions of Minnesota. We see a shift in the polar vortex. You don't talk much about that this time of year. A shift in the polar vortex early this spring, kind of setting the stage for repeated chilly stretches across the central and eastern U.S. in the weeks ahead. Not days, but weeks. Below average temperature days will outnumber the warmer days. AccuWeather explains homes, schools, businesses in the Midwest and Northeast may actually be running the heat on some days in the weeks ahead, when many typically are switching to the AC, shutting down the furnaces for the summer. The upcoming chill may make outdoor spring sports activities actually uncomfortable for some. The after effects of the polar vortex from March into early April have created what they call an atmospheric traffic jam, or a Greenland block at the jet stream level. Although the polar vortex is, the displacement has passed, but the jet stream still kind of buckled up enough to allow waves of chilly air to move southward out of Canada into the Midwest and the Northeast. We're going to see batches of air like this, pale in comparison to the Arctic outbreak we saw mid-April. However, in some cases during these cold bouts, there can be a bit of wet snow mixed in with some rain showers. Between the cold spells, temperatures briefly climb to near average for this time of year. Despite the brief rounds of chilly conditions, warm days outweighed or balanced the cooler days in the month of April. Temperatures actually running a bit above averages, places like Chicago, New York, Boston. Some warm days were actually extreme enough to force bud break, trigger blossoming, leaf out weeks ahead of schedule. This growth, early growth, set the stage for a lot of damage as bouts of cold air has brought frost and freezes. Horse Feathers sent me a link to a peach orchard in, I believe it was New Jersey. acres and acres where they ain't going to have any peaches this year. The entire crop was wiped out by the freeze a few weeks ago. As we head into the weekend, Saturday night, Sunday morning, maybe one of the more widespread frost and freezes across the eastern U.S., damage to plants possible as far south as eastern Kentucky, southern Virginia, the mountains of North Carolina, as the budding, the blossoming, and the leaf out expand northward in the month of May, with frost and freeze episodes likely to continue. Obviously, the risk for additional damage is in place. Some agricultural interests are going to need to protect orchards, vineyards, and berry patches. Home gardeners, avoid planting your tender, warm season vegetables and annuals until at least the average last frost date is passed. After this weekend, most nights shouldn't bring frost or freeze conditions in the Midwest and Northeast. A couple of nights could still see them, especially in the Midwest, away from the Great Lakes. AccuWeather tells us below average departures for the first 10 days of May will be rather significant, especially in the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, the interior Northeast. Historical average temperatures in May are higher than April and tend to be going up a degree every few days, as a matter of fact. Right now, it looks like the first half of this month could rank among the chilliest in recent decades across the central and eastern states. Based on temperature departures from average, we're talking 5 to 15 degree departures for multiple days. May of 2008, as well as 2020, looks similar to the forecast for this May here in 2026. Those years were colder than average, ranking number 10 to number 30 as the coldest Mays on record for these regions. Meanwhile, the month of May likely to warm in the west, especially in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to offset the chill across the lower 48 as a whole. Meanwhile, looking ahead during the second half of May, we'll continue to see bouts of warm air across the plains, pushing into the east. That could offset some of the cold days racked up here in the first couple weeks of May. So when all is said and done, the entire month may end up with less extreme averages compared to the first couple of weeks here, but definitely going to be starting the new month off on the cool side. In the southeast, much needed rainfall. Parts of southern Texas actually going to be looking at possibly flooding rains. We see flood watches stretching from southeastern New Mexico straight across southern Texas, down toward the Houston area, on over into southern portions of Louisiana. Regions in the southeast since the start of this year, 6 to 12 inches of rain is their deficit, running way behind. We're going to see a good soaking for tens of millions of people here in the coming days. Most of the region should not see flooding concerns for the most part. There could be a few exceptions where a couple of inches of rain could fall in a few hours, especially in some of those areas in Texas, obviously, where we have those flood watches along the Interstate 10 and I-20 corridors. Overall, generally 1 to 4 inches of rain in the coming days, more than 2 inches likely from west central Texas to central and northern Louisiana on over into west central Mississippi. AccuWeather says in some areas, rainfall numbers could actually approach close to 10 inches. That's with the repeated or the training of showers. In much of the wet zone, it's going to be a chilly rain. Some you're going to be talking high temperatures, topping out in the 50s. We touched on that last evening. Very unusual in the month of May to see areas in Texas with daytime highs stuck in the 50s. Meanwhile, showers and thunderstorms in the offing for the Formula One Grand Prix this weekend in Miami, Florida. But ahead of the rain, still dealing with the elevated fire risk over a good portion of Florida, continuing into today, Friday. Saturday, some areas could still be at fire risk, so this setup featuring an area of low pressure tracking eastward along the I-10 corridor could have the potential to produce some strong thunderstorms from Friday into Saturday night along the upper Gulf Coast regions there. Some of our travelers' weather on a Friday. How about that? Philly Dan on board again. TGIF. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Hello, Pappy. Somewhere deep beneath the Earth's crust, hidden in the hotshot secret bunker, Steve throwing the breakers, raising the FR3 antenna. The stick shit eliminator power mic is on. Here we go. Saddle up, nocturnal listeners. It's the midnight hour, Friday. 844-844-3388. There's the digits to hit. Don't be a scarecrow. Be part of the show. 47 degrees, chilly, Harrison, Ohio. If it's not a full moon, it sure looks like one on this first day of May. Keep it between the spotted and the solid. As always, sunny side up. Watch your six. Guardian of Chaos on board. 47 degrees there as well in the state of Connecticut. It's going to be sunny, maybe 60 degrees for a high here this first day of May. Have a blessed weekend, all. And as always, thank you for the ride, good sir. Marianne in the house. Everybody have a blessed weekend. Thanks for joining us. On down the line we roll as we get the new day underway. Michael checks in for a bit. Just saying my hellos before I hit the temporary coffin. Gotta be up bright and early this Friday. Hello, Jeffrey, Southern Florida. Morning, Steve, and the overnight family. Looks like his rubber duck on board, I do believe. Country Bumpkin, good morning, overnight drive family. Checking in from Waterford, Michigan tonight. Scrapyard, waving all five. Good to have you with us. Deborah, howdy, Steve. 64 in East Texas tonight. Have a safe, wonderful, blessed night. All those out there traveling. Cap and Ron checking in, doing my Miami deliveries. Here we are, one day closer to the greatest day of the week. It's a balmy 78 degrees down here. Gas up 20 cents per gallon just this past day. Yeah, we're seeing that all around the country. And I was tuned into an interesting breakdown here just a bit earlier, where some are saying the numbers, the math ain't mathin'. The numbers just aren't adding up correctly. Yeah, during the Biden administration, Pappy brought that up last evening. When we saw the price per barrel at one point in time at, was it 137, 139 per barrel? And when that occurred, we saw $5 per gallon gas. Well, we are nowhere near that. Yeah, we did see that brief jump to 126 about 24 hours ago. It's running about 113 per barrel right now. So why have areas already exceeded, in some cases, the $5 per gallon? Some are saying there's some gouging going on out there. Yeah, there's a handful of states, like Indiana, for instance, that have eliminated the sales tax, the state tax, but still, seeing over $5 a gallon. Something a little fishy going on, again, according to some. Hello, Larry. Good afternoon. Hammer down, 52 degrees, Platkill, New York. Round number 4 to Schenectady. Then it's home. Get the barbecue ready for Sunday. We'll be cooking in the Grand American Barbecue World Championship taking place in New Paltz, New York. 70 teams from all over the country, as far away as Alaska. Plus, we've got some teams actually coming in from Canada this weekend. Wish me luck. All right, you got it. Good luck there. Wow, that's a big competition, huh? 70 teams. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish Kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
All right, let's head down to Arkansas. According to the screen, Scrapyard's got an emergency action report. What's happening, Scrapyard?
Oh, over here on the Interstate 49 southbound, shut down at the 72. They're working on a single-lane bridge over to get over into the stadium area over there, Razorback Stadium, I guess it is, over there. But they've got it the southbound side completely shut down. You come around that curve there, right at the 72, come around there, then all of a sudden you're right in the middle of it. And Interstate 40 westbound down to 135 across, I believe that's the Bell Slough Bridge right there. The right two lanes was closed, and it took me about an hour to go 7 miles here on I-40 westbound in Arkansas.
Okay.
No, that's I got iDrive pulled up right now, and it's still showing quite a good backup there on that construction on 40 down there at the 135 yardstick.
So it's a great way to start your Friday.
Oh yeah, especially with all the idiots running around wanting to get their weekend started early.
Yep.
Yeah, so. All right, well, I'm about to pull in the yard up here, so I'll get out of here and let you get after it.
All right, well, thanks for the heads up there, Scrapyard. Safe travels. There you go. All right, underway on a Friday. 844-844-3388. I got your email, Pappy. I had not seen anything about that. He said, do a quick search. We've got a refinery down that's causing some of these hikes in prices in much of the Midwest. I did the quick search, and it says a power outage caused at least a partial shutdown at the BP Whiting refinery in northwest Indiana. Here a few days ago, 26th and April 27th, which they say is causing significant gas price spikes across the Midwest. This particular refinery, the largest in the region, they're saying may take a week or two to resume full operations. Analysts predict gas price increases from 20 to as much as 80 cents per gallon. Okay, I think that's what we've seen over the last couple of days. Gas prices in Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, surging. Some forecasts predicting prices $5 per gallon. And I think in some areas we're actually seeing that, right? While operations may be partially restored, experts warn that full recovery is going to take 1 or 2 weeks, and that's going to keep the prices elevated, according to GasBuddy.com. Now, they do say this incident occurring during peak spring maintenance season, and all this kind of coinciding with the broader market pressure, obviously. The Strait of Hormuz, the Iran situation. All right, so it makes a little more sense, as to why the math wasn't mathin', right? Pain at the pump, higher postal prices, canceled flights, costlier airline tickets, baggage fees. All these things being impacted by the higher fuel prices. We'll give you more on that coming up. But clear on a Friday at 844-844-3388. News, a service of Industrial Injection, serving Cat, Cummins, Detroit, and more. Fuel injection, turbochargers, and complete engine solutions. IndustrialInjection.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. President Trump says Iran is dying to make a deal, telling reporters he is working to resolve the conflict while citing uncertainty over Iran's leadership after recent strikes.
If we didn't have that B-2 bomber, if we didn't go in and do what we did, we obliterated that nuclear capacity of theirs.
He expects gas prices to fall once the war comes to an end. War Secretary Pete Hegseth faced sharp questioning from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand during a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on the Iran war. Lawmakers pressed him on cost, strategy, and casualties.
So the question I would ask to you and to others is, what is the cost of a nuclear-armed Iran? What is the cost to the American people if the world's most dangerous regime has a nuclear weapon?
Hegseth says the clock is stopped due to the ceasefire.
At the closing bell, the Dow climbed 790 points, the S&P 500 rose 73 points, and the Nasdaq gained 219 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Commerce moves fast. Your business should too. If you're not on the first page of search results, you're losing customers. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Don't let that be you. iLocal.net has helped local businesses dominate search results since 2009. For a limited time, iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Local business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Call 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis. Don't wait. Call 888-699-2407. That's 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us. Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
So we roll into a Friday. What's on tap for your weekend? And no big plans that I'm aware of at the Sommers household. Hopefully, a quiet weekend. Now, I did not play the Powerball this week. Maybe I should have. I wish I did. I'm really curious. It's almost like some sort of a fluke occurred with the Powerball drawing. This was Wednesday night's drawing, where dozens and dozens of people woke up Thursday morning a millionaire. I've never seen anything like it. There were actually two players that hit the total jackpot, one in Kansas, one in Indiana. So they'll split the $143 million jackpot. But there were nearly 90 other individuals that won $1 or $2 million. That means they all had the 5 correct white balls, but missed the actual Powerball number. How did so many people have the exact same 5 white numbers? All right, the winning numbers were 3, 19, 35, 51, and 67. So 90 plus people had that. The Powerball was 15. Obviously, there were 2 that actually had the number 15. Now look down here, the numbers. See the $2 million prize. There were some, was it 50 or 60? Trying to get down to the numbers. 89 players across 20 states becoming millionaires. 27 matched all 5 of the white balls and actually had the multiplier, which was 2 times. That means they won $2 million. So 62 actually matched the 5 white balls, didn't have the multiplier, but that's still $1 million. 90 millionaires this past morning. Wow. I think the state of Indiana. That was one of the big $14 million winners in that state. And you had the one that actually, there was one winning jackpot winner. I think New Jersey also had 14 million dollar winners. It's just incredible. 14 winners in just those two states each. All right, good luck. Check those Powerball tickets. Meanwhile, back to Buckeye Boy. Checking in here on a Friday morning. Ackworth, Georgia, 56 degrees. Had a little rain this past morning, almost 2 inches of rain over the last 3 days. Really needed that. I decided not to go to Florence since they didn't want it till like Tuesday. So I hung out, ran a couple of errands, get what I needed for one of my contractors. Went to the grandson's baseball game. God bless the coaches who have the patience of a saint dealing with 5-year-olds. I couldn't do it. It was fun, but they lost. And since it's a tournament, they're going to be playing in the losers bracket. But looks like everyone but our brave Border Patrol and ICE agents are going to get more funding. Ultimately, Democrats got what they wanted. Republicans folded, even though these agencies still have funding available through the big, beautiful bill. It's not enough. We need to put pressure on Republicans who did not vote to pay them. Either way, I'll be heading out to vote later today. They got a friend of ours coming over for dinner, bringing her puppy along. Her husband may come, but his boss is in town and bringing their other one. I got to get the APU looked at tomorrow. Hope it doesn't take all day, but the stock market, a tremendous day this past day. I just don't understand what's going on with oil. All right, have a great night, better weekend, and everybody be careful out there. So they're trying to, that's one that I was going to delve a bit into, seeing as you brought that up, the oil prices. We're all feeling the impacts. Many companies warning there's more to come. The cost of fuel and the materials derived from petroleum could be driving prices up for pretty much everything, food and other household items. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed, keeping the tankers stuck in the Persian Gulf, away from the customers around the world. Of course, the naval blockade preventing Iran from selling their oil. Prices we watched surged overnight last night. Concerns the conflict is going to affect the flow of crude for an extended period of time. All right, as the cost of crude climbs, so do the prices of gasoline and other fuel that keep the equipment, the cars, the buses, the trucks, the airplanes, everything running. Right now, gas prices are at the highest level since 2022. National average hit $4.30 per gallon this past day, compared to $2.98 before the conflict started, according to AAA. That's a 44% increase. Diesel prices making it more expensive to haul those everyday goods. Diesel is now at an average of nearly $5.50 per gallon, up from $3.76 before the conflict. Now, shippers have started adding surcharges to cover the cost. The U.S. Postal Service implemented a temporary 8% charge on some of their services, including priority mail, helping to blunt the impact of rising transportation costs. Amazon added a 3.5% fuel and logistics surcharge on third-party sellers using their platform to offset the fuel prices. Shoppers may see more sticker shock. Anything from clothing to cosmetics to furniture. Diesel's the one you want to watch when it comes to prices for consumer goods. Peter Zaleski, professor of economics at Villanova University, after jumping to $2.09 per barrel early April, Yeah, the global price of jet fuel eased last week to around $179, but still well above the roughly $99 at the end of February. Fuel is one of the largest expenses for airlines. Its prices are pushing up airfares, baggage fees, add-on charges. Major airlines, Delta, United, American, Southwest, have all raised their checked baggage fees. United is expanding their pay-for-what-you-want model when it comes to economy to premium cabins, charging separately for options like seat selection. American is adding fees for seat assignments in their basic economy, even for their elite loyalty members. Outside the U.S., carriers in Asia, Europe, have added on or raised fuel surcharges, in some cases tacking on hundreds of dollars for long-haul tickets. Many airlines, as we know, have trimmed their flight schedules, cutting the less profitable routes or reducing seat capacity. The Lufthansa Group has said they plan to cancel about 20,000 flights across their network over the next 6 months. Procter & Gamble, the maker of household products, Crest toothpaste, Tide detergent, Charmin toilet paper, warning last week the conflict would cause a $1 billion hit to profits during their next fiscal year. Many of P&G's products and packaging are made of resin or other petroleum-based materials. P&G's chief financial officer told reporters, he said the company might have to pass on some of those costs to, yes, me and you. London-based Unilever, which makes everything from Dove soap to Hellmann's mayonnaise, plans to raise prices 2 to 3% in small doses, they say. And that was during yesterday's earnings call. Grocery prices have yet to be affected according to the government figures, but they are expected to rise with tightening supplies of fuel and fertilizer. Fuel accounts for roughly 15 to 30% of the total cost of food, according to the Grocers Alliance. Fertilizer is also essential to farmers. About 30% of the world's fertilizer shipments typically pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Ken Foster, professor of agricultural economics at Purdue University, said there's typically a 3 to 6 month lag between an energy price shock and the increase in retail food prices. The lag can be up to a year for some of the packaged foods that have a longer shelf life. So I guess long story short, we've not even really probably seen any of those impacts being passed on just yet. It is 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
Hello, Gary, checking in here on a Friday. Gary Montgomery, that is. Snuffy and Granny checking in. Hey, Steve, we just left the home 20. We're headed back to Richmond, Kentucky. Finally get to go back to work. It was a rather extended hiatus there, wasn't it? All right. Back on the road again. Back in the saddle. Hello, Kentucky Ken. Checking in, hoping and praying everybody's well. It's been crazy in my world. All right, stay safe out there. Prayers for the overnight family. Kentucky Ken is listening in. Let's see. Matthew checks in via Eskimo Mom. Had a chance to watch some of the NBA playoff action and NHL playoffs Thursday night. Got to see the highlights of the Cardinals game. All right, saw the Reds and the Cards both won this past day. Getting ready for NASCAR to roll into Texas. And I heard a surprising statistic. The Cincinnati Reds, 20 wins at the end of April for the first time, leading the National League Central for the first time as we roll into May, for the first time since 2006. All right. Thanks for checking in there, Matthew, from the best city in Missouri, O'Fallon, Missouri. Pappy, I took 2 5-gallon gas cans to the pump, filling them up for the summer, the lawnmower and whatnot. $50. $50. I didn't bitch, though. I waited till now to fill them up. All right, Dirty Harry, how we doing? Good morning, Steve, and all the trucking community out there. Santa Claus, top of the morning, 62 in Grass Valley, California. Halfway up the Sierra Nevadas. Santa Claus out. All right, from California to the other side of the country. Buddy, hello, Steve, 49 degrees, Hartford, Maryland. Yeah, I listen every night till about 1 o'clock in the morning. Since I'm off on Fridays, I stick around till about 3 a.m. Great show as always. Praying for President Trump, our troops, and the families of the troops that have been lost out there. All right, Uncle Chop's in the house. Morning, Steve, and the overnight crew. Gas prices have not only a financial effect, but also a psychological one as well. Yeah, there may be a bit of manipulation happening to make the current administration look bad. Here's hoping the Republicans keep the House and the Senate this fall, come the midterms, right? And hello from Bob in Michigan this early Friday. Well, I know it ain't Captain Ron. It must be the unofficial Captain Ron impersonator.
One day closer to Monday, the greatest day of the week. That's right, folks. Yes, this is the Captain Ron impersonator, reminding everybody that it's Friday, so that means it's one day closer to Monday.
The greatest day of the week.
Yep, and let's not forget, as Horse Feather says, Friday does not mean to drive naked.
That's casual Friday.
Right. You can't drive naked, so I've got my Speedo on tonight. So everybody be happy to hear that.
Some things
Well, that's
just can't
about
be
all.
unseen.
What's that?
Some things cannot be unseen, Gilligan.
Well, that's about all I got for now. Hope everybody has a safe night. Take care, everybody.
All right, there you go. I don't want that vision in my head. There you go, 844-844-3388. Get some of the other industry headlines here. What do we see? Commercial vehicle driver's visa revoked after it was discovered he was engaged in prohibited cabotage. That's another rule that's been in place for forever, but seemingly is seldom, if ever, enforced. Not often we get to hear about cabotage enforcement. According to the Border Patrol, it was here a few weeks ago, a Mexican national truck driver was arrested by Blythe, Arizona Border Patrol agents at the Highway 78 checkpoint near Palo Verde, California. The arrest came after the Border Patrol agents discovered the driver was engaged in cabotage, transporting a commercial load of produce from Yuma, Arizona to Grandview, Washington. Obviously, that violates the conditions of the truck driver's B1, B2 visa. Now, the truck driver's visa revoked, and he was processed for deportation. Yeah, most people aren't familiar. Cabotage laws regulating the transportation of goods or passengers between 2 points within the United States by foreign carriers or drivers. The idea is to ensure domestic transportation services are reserved for U.S. companies and U.S. workers, preventing unfair competition from foreign entities. I've heard from many out there, I think there's an awful lot of this unlawful cabotage taking place out there. But this is vital to protect the U.S. economy and ensure fair competition within the domestic transportation industry. By enforcement, Border Patrol agents help preserve opportunities for U.S. drivers, ensuring American workers remain competitive in the marketplace. That was the statement from the Border Patrol during a similar cabotage enforcement at an Arizona checkpoint last year. So at least, I guess, good to hear there's at least some enforcement of that actually taking place out there. Meanwhile, things that make you go, points to ponder. Yeah, I came across this and just think about it for a moment. Imagine we lived in a world where all of our vehicles were electric vehicles, as in right now. And suddenly along comes this new invention, the internal combustion engine. Think how well that would sell. A vehicle, half the weight, half the price, that will almost quarter the damage done to the roads. A vehicle that can be refueled in 1/10 the amount of time and has a range up to 4 times the distance in all weather conditions. It does not rely on the environmentally damaging use of non-renewable rare earth elements to power it. And it uses far less steel and other material to manufacture. Just think how excited people would be for such technology. In all reality, the mileage, the all-weather conditions. We know that the electric vehicles, when it's really cold, that battery lifetime is cut nearly in half. All right, just points to ponder. What do you think? It's 844-844-3388. Update coming your way in the next hour. Fraud in Minnesota. Looks like maybe another one. $91 million in Medicaid funding is being withheld from Minnesota as the fraud investigation continues. Fresh concerns about vulnerabilities, fraud in the state-run, federally funded social service programs in that state. Autonomous vehicles, several interesting updates there. We're watching this all unfold in real time right before our very eyes. And to me, it seems like it's all unfolding a lot quicker than most actually thought it would. This was supposed to be 10, 15 years down the road. First, news, a service of industrial injection, fuel injectors, fuel pumps, turbochargers, and complete diesel engine kits for the heavy-duty world. If it burns diesel, we can help keep it working. Learn more at industrialinjection.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish Kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The U.S. military is considering deploying a new hypersonic weapon to the Middle East.
The U.S. military is exploring potential deployment of its new Dark Eagle hypersonic weapon to the Middle East. The system, recently reaching initial operational capability, could give the United States a faster, longer-range strike option capable of hitting mobile and hardened targets with limited warning. Officials say the move reflects concerns about evolving threats in the region, including Iranian missile capabilities. While no deployment has been confirmed, the development highlights growing focus on advanced weapons as global military competition intensifies. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
Vice President J.D. Vance is disputing a report which claims he's concerned about the stockpiles of American missiles.
The Atlantic reports Vance shared his concerns about the U.S. running low on missiles due to the Iran war with President Trump. Vance questioned the Atlantic sources for the story, adding, he's never said what the Atlantic is reporting. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
President Trump says he is nominating Dr. Nicole Safier as the next U.S. Surgeon General, calling her a star physician known for her work in breast cancer care. This is after his previous nominee, Casey Means, faced Senate opposition over vaccine concerns and her nomination stalled. President Trump is signing an executive order expanding retirement access for American workers by creating government-backed retirement accounts for employees without workplace plans.
This afternoon, I'm thrilled to sign a historic executive order expanding access to high-quality retirement savings accounts for millions of Americans.
Announcing for the White House today that the new options will be available through a website called TrumpIRA.gov and modeled after federal worker retirement plans.
At the closing bell, the Dow climbed 790 points, the S&P 500 rose 73 points, and the Nasdaq gained 219 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network USA Radio News.
matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
Senator Joni Ernst demanded DOJ investigation into allegations that the Biden administration covered up improper Planned Parenthood loan activity involving around $90 million. She says documents suggesting payments to the abortion provider were concealed. 2 people are dead following a bank robbery in central Kentucky that happened this afternoon at a U.S. bank in Berea.
These 2 victims, we have a female victim and we have a male victim. I won't be giving you their names or anything at this time, but they're our people. They're our people that work in our community.
Scotty Pennington with the Kentucky State Police says the suspect fled the area. Multiple agencies are searching for him. Berea's around.
Group of would-be entrepreneurs as they compete in a series of challenges to test their business acumen. President Trump hosted the show for 186 episodes from 2004 to 2015, but according to a report by the Wall Street Journal, the reboot would feature Donald Trump Jr. as the host of the show. However, Amazon told the newspaper that the show wasn't in active development, while an insider reportedly told Variety that there have not been any discussions with anyone outside the company. I'm Wendy Swanson.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. So you missed an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, and now you're suffering night sweats and panic attacks. Well, don't worry, we've got the cure. Never miss a broadcast of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Consistently ranked as one of the top podcasts and radio shows in America, we've made it easy for you to catch up on past shows. Find the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts or at overnightdriveradio.com. And never miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Summers, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now, 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Just like that, we're closing out the work week. Rolling into the first weekend in the month of May here. As indeed, we turn the page on the calendar. May 1 of 2026. Now let's head up to Wisconsin. Good morning, Steve. All the listeners, 39 degrees. Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Just got done. Actually worked 9.5 hours tonight. Time to start loading the trailers with pizza making ingredients at the warehouse and get to the plant ready for Monday. Now they've got the freezer maintenance all wrapped up. Prayers for my brother and his family. My 10-year-old nephew had a seizure in his sleep. They rushed him to the hospital. They looked at him, did nothing, and sent him home. When he got home, had another seizure. Rushed him to the Children's Hospital in Milwaukee. They're going to keep him overnight for testing, do an MRI, see what's going on. All right. Prayers for the little one. Be safe out there, drivers, and have a good weekend. Meanwhile, our friends at AccuWeather got the long-term prognostication. You know, what are we looking at weather-wise for the summer of 2026? I don't know. How much credence can you put in some of these long-term outlooks? Are they as accurate as maybe like the old Farmer's Almanac? I don't know. But summer of 26 expected to bring a volatile mix of heat, severe thunderstorms, and flooding to the U.S., with El Nino developing, flexing its influence on the weather patterns. Where's it going to be hot? A hot summer predicted across most of the lower 48 this year, with almost no areas expected to have temperatures below average. Widespread heat will be driving up energy demand, could lead to higher electric bills. The worst of the heat will focus across parts of California, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming. So a hot summer out west. A widespread fire threat will come into play. The Great Basin wildfires in the Northwest can be destructive this summer, along with impressive heat waves and drought conditions. The heat not limited to the West, predicting a number of 90-degree days to be near or above average from Boston to Chicago, New York City to Philadelphia. In the Northeast, there could be a late surge of heat and higher humidity. That added humidity will add to the heat index, the real feel temperature, warmer nights, in other words. Severe weather, most active from early to midsummer across the plains, Midwest, and Ohio Valley, with storms shifting further east later in the season. The number of tornadoes running near to just a bit above average into June and July. Those numbers can drop off dramatically in August. While the tornado threat could be lower, severe thunderstorms will persist right on through August. July and August, a rising risk of destructive lines of thunderstorms known as derechos. A derecho, much more powerful than a typical thunderstorm, sometimes referred to as an inland hurricane. Due to the widespread wind damage they can cause, winds can exceed 100 miles per hour, strong enough to flatten cornfields, trigger power outages that last for days in the summer heat. It was back June 20th of last year, as a matter of fact. Intense thunderstorms broke out across North Dakota, spawning the first EF5 tornado in 12 years. That severe weather event also featured an intense derecho that raced across 800 miles in about 12 hours' time. Top winds reached 106 miles per hour. All right, looking forward, we'll take a look at the flooding threat with drought conditions worsening in some areas. Plus, they break down the monsoon season that could bring some relief, but also comes with its own risks. And then there's been a lot of talk of El Nino shaping up the summer weather patterns around the planet. Talking about the super El Nino. Well, it's been a long time, no talk. Scarecrow.
Don't be a scarecrow.
That's
well,
it.
here's to everyone. This is being a scarecrow. Yeah, that weather of yours there, Steve, growing up, this was referred to as May Day, first day of May.
May Day.
Well,
May Day.
yeah. Well, for reference, we are, about a half hour north of La Crosse, Wisconsin. But I got 2 snow shovels sitting by the service door in our garage yet. I'm still not going to put them away, Steve. Not that there's significant threat of snow, but we had about 36 this past morning. And I've made note of Black River Falls, Wisconsin in the past. They're about 40 miles northeast as the crow flies from us. They had 22 degrees this past morning.
Wow.
And it's May. Typical May weather for us involves covering all the spring plantings and getting out the old bed sheets and things like that. But it is what it is. We choose to live in this environment, and so anyway, Steve, I started thinking about my handle scarecrow, and over the years, it has come up a couple, 3 different times. I've heard other scarecrows out there. But I got to go back, 35, 40 years till I heard my first scarecrow. That was just on I-90, just out of La Crosse. But Steve, you had another scarecrow called in. Oh man, that was probably 3-4 years back now.
Yeah,
maybe even more. But I never, when I was listening regular, I never heard him call back in again. Do you recall that ever happening?
I do not recall. No.
Yeah, I guess I thought, well, that could lead to a little bit of confusion amongst listeners and such, but a little amusement when it comes to the scarecrow part, Steve. And actually, this is a heads up for Santa Claus too. This past Thanksgiving, we were out to Sacramento / Roseville, which is a burb of Sacramento, to visit the kids. And we've been invited back out there, this coming Thanksgiving too. So Santa Claus, to make it known, you want to be on your best behavior there.
Right.
You're going to be report cards filled out, I bring this up, Steve, because last fall when we were out there, Dewey, he said, "Dad, the squadron is putting in an special order for coffee cups, personalized," and asked if I wanted one. Well, that was a duh moment. So I said, "Yeah, make sure put Scarecrow on mine, and don't put John on there. Put Scarecrow on it." So yeah, he said, "I'd do that, Dad." And mind you, this was November now. Well, about 3 weeks back, we were FaceTiming, and in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I wonder if he's sitting on it and gonna ship it out here, for my birthday coming up, which is a week away. And but I thought, no, I'm going to ask him. I said, "Brandon, not to put you on the spot, but did that coffee cup ever arrive?" And he had kind of a sheepish look on his face, Steve. He said, "Well, there's a bit of a story there, Dad, in that they have a civilian contractor, squadron does out there, that it's his job to kind of patrol and keep wildlife, in particular birds, at bay and away from the runway and such." And Steve, he goes by Scarecrow. And whoever opened up this shipment of coffee mugs within the squadron when it arrived, when he saw a Scarecrow on it,
yeah,
that person assumed it was for their Birdman out there, their Scarecrow. So he gave my coffee mug away.
Uh-oh.
And Brandon said he just didn't have the heart to explain to him that it was for his dad. the guy was just thought it was so cool that those guys, the squadron, would think of doing something like that for him. So either way, there is another Scarecrow at it there. I guess I was curious. I don't know if that's standard protocol in all Air Force areas, that there are individuals that do that, and Grump would probably have a better handle for it than I do. But yeah, that was hopefully it's going to be a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see how that works out. The kids had been really looking forward to that big boy steam locomotive was in Roseville for, I believe, 3 days, and they planned on going visit that on Saturday. Well, they toured and drove around for the best part of an hour, couldn't find any place to park. And in retrospect, he said it probably worked for the best, though it was disappointment at that time. It was a significant storm that blew in shortly after that, and it would have swamped everybody and such. So they weren't so brokenhearted after the weather turned sour and such anyway. But so anyway, I just kind of rattling on here, Steve. Given this is the casual Friday, and you would not expect these days. You would not expect Crow to be calling on any day other than on the casual end of the week.
Yes, sir.
Steve, I caught a glimpse, actually a video recently of the retired constable from Harrison down there. Steve, that guy, he was smoking a cigar the size of a Louisville Slugger. And my thoughts are, wow. I have this vision of him and the right-wing nut in a conversation. Now, can you imagine two right-wing nuts on the airwaves?
Oh boy!
With all this, just ongoing and such. So yeah, we just think about that. You've got that to look forward to. No doubt coming up down the road if that individual continues his ways in retirement and such way. Curious here, Steve. I'm like I say, I'm jumping around here, but things that come to mind. You guys have your cruise, the overnight cruise. I don't think I've ever heard. What are the beer prices on board a cruise ship? Do you remember that?
Yeah, they run about $9 a pop.
Okay. The reason I ask, our youngest and his wife are on a cruise up in Norway. It's a smaller cruise ship, about 600 passengers, and they do a lot of stops in and out of the various fjords and such. But he noted the other night that $16 for a beer on the boat. So the price of entertainment kind of extreme, for them guys. I try not to repeat things that I've shared in the past. Back when, did I ever mention about the Wisconsin Bomb Squad paying a visit to us?
I don't recall. I don't believe so. No.
Yeah. This is back when I was cleaning out Mom's house. Prior to the auction and such, I came across what wound up being some blasting caps.
Yeah.
And these dad would have had. Well, they would have been in the house for 60-plus years that we lived in that house. They no doubt came down from the farm when we moved to town. But we didn't know what the heck to do with them. Dad had talked to a neighbor of ours years back. He was a county cop up our way, and he jokingly, half serious, he said, "You dig a hole in the backyard and bury the things. Makes it a whole lot easier." Well, I had some guidance on this from that individual down Harrison.
Okay.
But either way, I made contact, with our local squad here in town, and they in turn had contacted the bomb squad in Madison, Wisconsin. Figured, they'll take care of it. Well, I thought, man, that's all I need. That's going to hit the news wires, the local news wires. We're going to make the 6:00 evening news. There's going to be squad cars and fire trucks and everything else. It's going to look like Coming to America, the movie coming down the street and
right.
such. But no, it was within about 3 hours. They showed up, just a nondescript crew cab pickup with a service body on it, and there was 4, maybe 5 individuals there. And it was pretty low keyed. Just a young lady with a Velcro closure type luggage piece or whatever. They loaded the things up and out the door they went, and no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. And I told the guy kind of in charge, I said, well, you probably noticed that the container that they were in, which is like a cottage cheese type container with a lid on. And he said, yeah, I noticed that right away. That doesn't kind of fit the time frame as to when these would have came into the household. And I told him, well, the original container they were in, that thing is so pristine, I was not going to give that up, Steve. It's worth some pretty significant dollars on the collector market. So I still got a blasting cap container in our display room out here.
How about that?
So yeah, we had the Wisconsin Bomb Squad pay a visit, and it was ironic. It was a few weeks later, working in my dad's workshop, cleaning stuff up, and here I come across another container like that, and oh man, that's all I need now. And well, that wound up being some nuts and bolts in that thing, but so yeah, we kind of got it all going on in our world, Steve. Now, the purpose of the call, and I don't catch every program, Steve, but when I first tagged this Casual Friday, well, it's probably 6-7 years back now. The commercial industry and such, there was many Casual Fridays out there, Blue Jean Friday in corporate America, that type of thing. Well, I thought in the trucking industry, trucking market, we need a moment to stretch our wings and wind down a little bit. So I tagged it Casual Friday. Well, Steve, I had never any thought of the need to having a dress code for Casual Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was a couple weeks back. It was Friday's program I was listening to, and here I got, you have one primary spokesperson who's advising everybody on the proper etiquette, as far as dress code goes in driving. And it's kind of concerning, Steve, in that this has been repeated so many times that I wonder if he isn't trying to cover up for some of his own inadequacies. In the guise of, we know darn well he takes great pleasure in laying on that train horn of his going down the road. and hanging out the window, shouting profanities to traffic going past them and such, and given his enjoyment of fire trucks, firefighting equipment, I half wonder, Steve, if he doesn't maybe even wear a fireman's raincoat, and
that's it.
I think you maybe know where this is going, don't you?
Yeah.
I think there's one individual that it's one of these situations where do as I say, not as I do. Now we're painting another one of those pictures that you're going to have a tough time unseeing if you dwell on it for very long. So my thoughts here now are that there's probably going to be a response, and if not a rebuttal or a correction or some harpoons cast at Scarecrow. So, Steve, that's the extent of the casualness I've got to lay on you and
the full report
crew for now.
That's a full report update here on. All right, there you go. Casual Friday. Good to hear from Scarecrow. It's been a long time. I don't know, damn near a year, you think? Maybe not that long. News, a service of industrial injection serving Cat, Cummins, Detroit, and more. Fuel injection turbochargers, complete engine solutions, the knowledge you trust, the quality you depend on. IndustrialInjection.com to learn more.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. President Trump says Iran is dying to make a deal, telling reporters he is working to resolve the conflict while citing uncertainty over Iran's leadership after recent strikes.
If we didn't have that B-2 bomber, if we didn't go in and do what we did, we obliterated that nuclear capacity of theirs.
He expects gas prices to fall once the war comes to an end. War Secretary Pete Hegseth faced sharp questioning from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand during a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on the Iran war. Lawmakers pressed him on cost, strategy, and casualties.
So the question I would ask to you and to others is, what is the cost of a nuclear-armed Iran? What is the cost to the American people if the world's most dangerous regime has a nuclear weapon?
Hegseth says the clock has stopped due to the ceasefire.
At the closing bell, the Dow climbed 790 points, the S&P 500 rose 73 points, and the Nasdaq gained 219 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Commerce moves fast. Your business should too. If you're not on the first page of search results, you're losing customers. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Don't let that be you. iLocal.net has helped local businesses dominate search results since 2009. For a limited time, iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Local business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Call 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis. Don't wait. Call 888-699-2407. That's 888-699-2407. For your free website analysis, call 888-699-2407.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret. powered by science.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive can make a huge difference for your business.
This is Dean Michael, the tax doctor, and I just want to say advertising on Steve Summers' show has been the best marketing avenue for my business, providing the best return on investment consistently over everything else I've tried. I've done it all from TV commercials, pay-per-click on Google, search engine optimization, social media, and publishing ads in major magazines, but none of them came even close to doing what Steve Summers' show did for me.
If you're interested in advertising on the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, drop us an email at ssod@hotshotsecret.com.
Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Summers.
All right, on a Friday. Trust you've had a good week. Yeah, the phones have been rather quiet in recent days. Everybody taking a hiatus. All right, it's 844-844-3388. Yeah, again, good to hear from the Scarecrow, though. Eskimo Mom checking in. What do we got? Howdy, Overnight Drive Nation. Happy Hump Day, Friday. 4 days till Cinco de Mayo, well, which, by the way, is Ohio Primary Day. For 9 days to Mother's Day. 51 to the first day of summer. All right, if you are early voting in the state of Ohio, you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to cast your vote, or you have to do so in person on Tuesday. Because Monday is setup day at the Board of Elections office. If you have an absentee ballot, it has to be physically taken to the Board of Elections office, because now the ballot has to be in by 7:30 p.m. on Election Day in order to be counted. And the U.S. Postal Service does not process mail locally unless you live near a mail sorting facility, and even then it may not make it by the end of the election on Tuesday. So heads up there, some changes. Finishing up a gas station delivery at a store drop and hook. Shortly, we'll be headed back to the yard. We'll do it all over again in 17 hours or so. All right, if you don't hear anything from me next week, don't worry. I'll be on my first staycation of the year. Other than the election and a few appointments, nothing exciting in the books, but we've got a clear moonlit night, 51 degrees. Be safe out there. Everybody have a great weekend when you get to it. There's Rick in Columbus checking in. All right. I said prayers for the blind man. He's got his procedure coming up today. Forgot about that. Okay. And on down the line, 844-844-3388. Autonomous trucking just delivered the run they've been promising for a decade. A paying customer's freight, a public interstate, and no human in the cab. Bot Auto is the company, the Houston-based autonomous vehicle carrier, founded in 2023, completed the first fully humanless over-the-road commercial truckload in U.S. history early Wednesday, hauling 231 miles from Riggy's truck parking in northeast Houston to Safe Stop in Hutchins, which is just south of Dallas. The northbound I-45 lane was booked through Ryan Transportation, a third-party logistics ranked number 19 on the 2025 Transport Topics Top 100 Freight Brokers list. And it was timed against a shipper's tight overnight delivery window. Departure 1:16 a.m. Central Time. Arrival 4:57 a.m. Central Time. No safety driver, no remote operator, no in-cab observer. Now, it says the economics matter more than the milestone. Bot Auto disclosed a humanless cost per mile of $1.89 versus an industry baseline of $2.26 from the American Transportation Research Institute. Drop a human driver back into the same operation, that figure jumps to $3.78 per mile. The spread, roughly 37 cents below industry baseline and nearly $1.90 below the human-driven cost. That is what carriers, brokers, and shippers are going to benchmark as they ponder the conversation of moving to fully autonomous trucking. Bot Auto runs a transportation as a service model. It operates as a carrier with its own tractors, a mix of owned and leased trailers, 12 power units, 80 employees, and more than 25 contracted customers and $40 million raised. We did not build a demonstration. We built a business. Commercial freight on public roads with no human in the cab or remote driving, between third-party logistics hubs, and most importantly, making money on every mile, according to the founder and chief executive officer, Ryan Transportation's Jeff Henderson, senior vice president, calling the partnership a strategic decision based on Bot Auto's proven technology and the role autonomous trucking is going to play long-term in logistics. Translate that. Large brokers are no longer treating autonomous vehicle trucking as a tech investment line item. They are buying capacity from it. Autonomous tractors don't take hours of service breaks. They don't refuse the 1 a.m. departure. For overnight, time-definite freight, that's precisely the lane traditional capacity struggles to reliably cover. End of the story. For carriers, the humanless cost per mile is now a benchmarking problem, not a research slide. For brokers, autonomous vehicle capacity is a procurement option on freight that your drivers don't want to run. For shippers, the operative question shifts from whether driverless trucking works to how fast the network of qualified autonomous vehicle lanes expand. Now, he called the Houston to Dallas Mile 1. Plan for the second 100. That leads right to the next. Driverless trucking technology company Aurora Innovation announcing one of the nation's leading refrigerated carriers has agreed to purchase hundreds of semi-trucks equipped with autonomous driving technology. This past day, April 30, Aurora announcing the trucking company Hirschbach Motor Lines has agreed to purchase 500 Aurora driver-powered trucks, delivery beginning next year. Hirschbach entered into a non-binding memorandum of understanding outlining a path to scale, with the final commercial terms and timing to be set in binding agreements expected to close later this year. The 500 trucks will be deployed within the Aurora network on high-volume routes between customer facilities in the Sun Belt and beyond. Hirschbach plans to use the trucks to build a hybrid network where autonomous trucks handle long-haul routes, allowing traditional drivers to focus on the shorter hauls that would get them home daily, according to Aurora. The final deal will enable the carriers to aggressively scale their national network with 500 million driverless miles, establishing a multi-year revenue stream for Aurora that's valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars. As they announced the partnership between the companies, this is an expansion of an existing partnership between the two. Aurora says that trucks equipped with their driverless technology have already traveled more than 800,000 miles, delivering over 2,000 loads for Hirschbach to date. The Aurora driver will provide consistent 24/7 service to our customers, making an important growth lever for the business. Autonomy is not just a business move, it's a quality of life investment, he says. The Aurora driver will handle the lengthier, less desirable routes, providing our drivers with greater flexibility. It's a win-win. When early adopters see the benefits the Aurora driver delivers for their business and their drivers, they don't just stay the course, that they will quickly scale, according to the co-founder and CEO of Aurora. So 500, that's a big investment, hundreds of millions of dollars. And like I said, this is all really, it's coming together in real time rather quickly. All right, we'll get to who we got on board. Is the inbred redneck checking in? Looks like Brain Dead joins us here on a Friday. All just ahead on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us. All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com.
Promise we get back to the phones here on a casual Friday. What do you say? Inbred redneck, I do believe.
Oh, yeah, that's me, buddy. Lord, I'm just sitting here, I listen to that bad news you just threw out there, buddy. Now, let me ask you something. If that happens, you know, they get them autonomous trucks going on and whatnot.
Yep.
What's going to happen to the truck stops? They going to dry up, ain't they, buddy? I mean, what's going to happen when you got a problem at a shipper or receiver? What's going to happen when that daggone robot gets pulled over and it's got a bunch of violations and,
right.
and stuff?
Yeah, good question.
If they're going to do that, Steve, I mean, within a day, since you don't have a driver, all you got is like the owner of the company or maybe a CEO. God knows if they got a daggone license or not, or if they've ever sat in a truck before in their life, you know. Not to say that all CEOs or people that own trucking companies are bad or anything, but say you got 500 of these robot trucks out there running around, and say they do their big safety blitz. Well, it ain't nothing for a 500 truck company. Maybe they can come down with 2 or 3 violations in a day, Steve, when something like that goes on. I mean, will the company have to shut down? I doubt it. You know why, Steve? Because it's all about the money. It's not fair. It ain't right. They cutting the throat of the American truck driver, and y'all better get together and do something about it. If you don't, it's just like all this stuff. You got these non-citizens driving trucks, and what's the common denominator? They're just looking for the cheapest way. It ain't right. It ain't fair. Y'all got to do something about it if you value your job or your business. I don't see a time when these robot trucks can take care of everything, Steve. But what I see is they're going to cut down on new people getting into the industry. Say maybe it's a younger person at home. I mean, wants to be a truck driver one day. Well, I mean, sure. I mean, they've done killed the wages and everything else. But, I mean, it may be his dream to get out there and just, you know, ride the old black strip, be an asphalt cowboy or however you want to put it. But, yeah, they're killing all that. And what's going to happen when they have no use for the experienced truck drivers and they have a big blizzard roll in? I know, Steve. They got them things running, but guess what? They're all down Texas, Arizona, and stuff. You don't hear about them going, over the Rockies or something like that. But what they'll do is they'll kill so many jobs that people will just say, forget about it. I'm going to go do something else. I ain't making no money at it no way. And then they'll just fill in the spaces with the robot trucks. Here comes a big blizzard. Everything's stuck. And trucks wrecking everywhere. What are they going to do? Put that CEO in jail when it runs over a family out there or something?
Right.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of BS, if you ask me, buddy. And there's one of two options an American truck driver can do at this point, in my opinion. You either go out and buy one of those robot trucks yourself, or you fight against it. One of the two. If they're gonna let people sit back and play remote control, well, daggone, it's a lot better to have the remote control and have some money rolling in than to have no remote control at all and no money rolling in. So, that's the choices y'all got out there. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. I'm retired. I love it. I'm glad I got out of it. But, yeah, buddy, about the time I make it home this morning, I tell you what, I think we're going to have a frost on.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, they're saying it's supposed to get down to 36 around the house. Well, the forecast is usually 5 degrees off on top of the mountain there. And I'm looking at some frost, I think, here, buddy.
You might be about 31 degrees.
Yeah, man. That's about the way it works. And I heard Scarecrow going on about, covering up the plants and stuff. Yeah, I don't plant anything out there. I throw a little bit of lettuce or something like that out there. Can handle some frost, broccoli, But I don't throw anything out there that can't handle no frost until after Mother's Day. That's my rule of thumb. Even down here,
Yep.
And I know he's up in Wisconsin and stuff, so, I don't know what he's got out there, whatever. It was good to hear from him, But yeah, buddy, I've had a hell of a deal going on here. I bought an old backhoe here a couple of years ago, and I'm on my way back from Paducah, Kentucky tonight here. Had to run all the way over there to the daggone dealership to get a piece for the daggone transmission on this backhoe. Oh, God, what a joke, buddy. I knew the thing was a joke when I bought it. It had a hydrostatic transmission in it.
Yeah.
And it just kept on getting weaker and weaker. And I was out there messing around with it the other day, digging a little ditch, and had my platforms out there, had her all raised up and digging. All of a sudden, it just dropped down and was trying to roll off with me. I said, "Oh no!" Yeah, this ain't good. You're facing backwards, and the steering wheel's the other way, and it's trying to roll on you. It put me in a dangerous position. I said, "No more. That ain't gonna happen. I'll tear this thing apart," and that's what I done. And I'm gonna try this piece in the daggone transmission. If that don't work, I'm gonna sell it. Maybe buy me a little excavator or something, or handle stuff there. I checked into it the other day, and it's amazing how cheap they are now. I mean, your big brands like Kubota and all that, you know, they're still up there. But and God knows how good this stuff is. They got stuff out of China, like you know, I see one of those little tiny mini excavators like you see some of these construction companies use, and yeah, $2,700, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bargain.
Yeah, I mean, that's cheaper than a riding lawnmower is these days, you know?
Yes, sir.
And, yeah, that's a whole nother gag in itself there. You got a riding lawnmower, Steve?
I do not have a riding lawnmower. Yeah, the young Steven does. He got the John Deere. I got the smaller yard. It's just a pusher. Redneck, we're up against news break. We close out another hour here, rolling into a Friday. News, a service of Industrial Injection. Since 1985, diesel owners have counted on us. Fuel injection, turbochargers, complete engine solutions from light-duty pickups to heavy-duty equipment. IndustrialInjection.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. White House Correspondents' dinner shooting suspect Cole Allen will remain in jail for now.
Earlier, defense attorneys had argued in favor of Allen walking free ahead of his trial. They claim he was not prepared to carry out a mass shooting because he had a pump-action shotgun rather than an automatic or semi-automatic weapon. Federal investigators say Allen was carrying a fully loaded 12-gauge Mossberg Maverick shotgun with an extended magazine tube last Saturday night when he tried to rush through a Secret Service checkpoint. Allen's attorneys also point out their client having no criminal history or prior arrests. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Democrats have failed to curb Trump's Iran war powers ahead of a key deadline.
The Senate has once again rejected a Democratic effort led by Senator Adam Schiff to limit President Donald Trump's authority over ongoing military action in Iran. It makes the sixth failed attempt to advance war powers restrictions as a 60-day congressional deadline approaches. Republicans argue the president retains authority to continue operations during a drawdown period, while Democrats warn Congress is being sidelined. sidelined. With lawmakers set to recess, the debate over authorization versus executive power remains unresolved and politically charged. Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
The Trump administration is rolling back gun control rules from the Biden administration.
The Department of Justice is cutting unnecessary red tape and claim nothing we are doing today weakens law enforcement. One of the rules repealed is a 2024 rule from the Biden administration, which calls for firearms dealers to conduct background checks for buyers at gun shows and other non-traditional sales locations. Gun rights groups claim the rule violates the Second Amendment. Gun control groups say loosening the regulations will make the country less safe. John Sommers, USA Radio News.
At the closing bell, the Dow climbed 790 points, the S&P 500 rose 73 points, and the Nasdaq gained 219 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say. We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great, and even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. Visit strongtel.com. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. StrongTel.
President Trump says he's considering wearing a bulletproof vest for added personal security amid renewed scrutiny of his protection.
I've been asked about that, and I guess it's something you consider. In one way, you don't like to do it because you're giving into a bad element, and so I don't know, but I have been asked about it.
The president joked that it could make him look around 20 pounds heavier when he was asked about it by reporters. Lawmakers are calling for a criminal investigation into the now-closed sloth world in Orlando following the death of a rescued sloth named Bandit. Officials say at least 32 sloths died at that facility. Governor Ron DeSantis says the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is investigating.
This issue with this sloth world in Orlando, honestly, it was really, really weird to me. I know FWC got involved, and I think that they're going to have to rectify whatever was the matter.
DeSantis expressed regret that he never visited that attraction before it shut down. Country music star LeAnn Rimes says she is suffering from a severe illness. She'd been forced to cancel and postpone her upcoming shows after falling ill during a Mexico vacation. Telling fans she's under medical care, recovering, and heartbroken she's going to miss these scheduled performances. For USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Visit iLocal.net/go for your free website analysis. iLocal.net/go.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Summers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
Channel 190. 409's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
All right, another hour underway here on a Friday. Thanks for spending some time with us. Rolling into the weekend. I came across, before Pappy had mentioned that to me in the first hour, about the refinery issue. I hadn't heard a thing about it. I am seeing some of this on social media now, though. Especially under the question, why did gas jump so much in Indiana today? And the report says gas prices surged. Some areas approaching $4.79 a gallon. The big jump primarily caused by a significant unplanned power outage at a major BP refinery in northwest Indiana. And all that coupled with the ongoing geopolitical instability in the Middle East. Just depending where you were, prices jumped anywhere from 40 to 80 cents per gallon. Yep, sure enough. All right, brain dead as we get another hour underway. What's happening?
I was just out here working, I just cursed like that. Maybe Brother Rambler could help save me before Sunday, Steve. I just hope this. But no, I heard you had nothing planned for your weekend there, buddy.
That's good plans, right?
Well, yeah, if you're a racing fan. I mean, you got to look at it. You got NASCAR running in Texas. You got the straight line guys running down in Georgia. And you got F1 running in Miami. So,
yeah.
Hey, if you're not a racing fan, it's veg out time for me. I don't even know what I'm going to be watching this weekend come racing wise, but it would be kind of great to see Cadillac actually win the F1 race in Miami too. So, by the way, you've heard from our good buddy Rick Friend today, haven't you?
He has indeed checked in this morning. Sure enough.
Oh, I had to talk him down the other night, Steve. I had to talk him down, buddy. He called me whining and crying, had that paper bag over his head. I couldn't understand him. And he mentioned something about the Reds losing 13-2.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, it's okay. It's okay. You got to remember, Baltimore lost to the Red Sox 17-1. So everything's going to be okay. He's just going to be, it's going to be okay. So yeah, Cardinals swept the series today. So, some good baseball games. I mean, we're a month into the season, and I mean, right now anything's possible too, Steve. But
yeah, I mean, in that division, though, I mean, every team in that Reds, Cards, Cubs, Brewers, Pirates, everybody's over 500. Everybody's got a winning record.
Scary, isn't it? Now, maybe Buckeye Boy can help me out with this a little bit, because I'm not a huge golfing fan. I do know some about golf, but I did see that the Live Tour is shutting down at the end of the year. You know what the Live Tour is, right?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, you have the PGA here, which that was the dominant golf forever, right? Then this Live, that was it Saudi Arabia that kind of created that or something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not real familiar.
Yeah, like I said, I know I'm not real familiar either, but I did see a blurb when I was just looking around this morning when I woke up, that they were shutting down operations, and the Saudis were throwing money at these golfers like an insane amount of money, and I think I saw where they canceled their tour stop in New Orleans coming up here. I think in another couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm not a big golfer. Maybe Buckeye Boy can help me out with that. But other than that, Steve, I have a question for Pappy, Steve. Now, he always ends his little check-in with, was it I got your six or something?
Watch your six.
Watch your six. Now, watch your six. Now, is that him eating dozen donuts or actual donuts? I mean, I'm just kind of curious, you know. A friend asked me that. So, Steve, you have a good weekend, buddy. We'll holler at you Monday.
All righty, watch your six. That's not a half dozen either. Ah. All right, coming up, we'll get a bit more on this. The big Supreme Court ruling that came down, on Wednesday, I guess, that has the left going absolutely bat crap crazy. And numerous other states. This has kind of set a snowball downhill in motion. President Trump is now demanding Republican-led states to redraw their maps to help retain control come the midterms in November. The fight, it all started last July. Recall the state of Texas. Republicans in Texas, the most populous Republican-led state, heeded the call to pass a new map aimed at flipping 5 Democrat-held seats in the House. California then responded, the biggest Democrat-led state, with their own redistricting effort. Other states, led by both Republicans and Democrats, have then followed suit. Thus far, Republicans have passed maps increasing their advantage in 13 seats across 5 states. Democrats have gained an edge in 10 states, 10 seats across 3 states. Some of the new maps could still fall to legal challenges, but that Supreme Court ruling, the landmark voting rights decision this week, could indeed prompt several more states to pursue new maps ahead of November as well. Republicans want a House majority in 2024, slim margin, 3 seats. So every district is very pivotal. They kind of break down how this is all unfolding across the country. Texas, Florida, Missouri, Ohio, North Carolina, Louisiana, and on and on. We'll kind of break some of those down for you state by state coming up. It's downright crazy. But, hey, Brain Dead mentioned buckwheat. Well, speaking of, hello, buckwheat.
Hello, Steve. Yeah, I mean, talking about these gerrymandering these districts and stuff, I'm more inclined that we should just go with an AI model and just a certain area and not make them look like spaghetti maps.
Yeah.
Be more realistic in area-wise, but I don't know. And that's just my opinion. But, I was just thinking about all these people that have the Trump derangement syndrome that speak these words and, and then there's no, they're not held accountable for the way they talk, and you call Trump all these names and, call him a king and all this other stuff that they use. They claim they got free speech. Isn't there a law that, you can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater?
Yeah, right.
That's harmful to other people. I mean, the way words you speak, they do have consequences, and, I just think that, people should watch what they say and, be kind. Anyhow, but I was listening this week and hearing some of the people that might be coming to the Mother's Day convoy next weekend, and I'm excited to meet Gilligan and Blind Man and Mary Ann, and if they all show up, it'd be great, having to meet some people that I haven't seen or don't really know, but I'm excited about it. I had my immune therapy yesterday, and And a neighbor man called, and my mower blade was done. So I went and picked up my mower blade, and this your local fella is a joiner guy, and that's a type of Mennonite, and they don't believe in having vehicles, but they can have tractors, and the tractors have to have steel wheels, and they get around with horse and buggy, and he had somebody there, horse farrier, which shoeing the horses and stuff like that, and he had enclosed wagon behind a tractor, a steel wheel tractor, and I thought, man, that's sort of odd. I mean, it's you're not allowed to have a vehicle, but you can drive a tractor on the road with steel wheels. Mm-hmm. And so my brother-in-law, my son-in-law called me, and we were talking, and I sort of mentioned to him, and he said, yeah, he works over in Leola, and he's seen this tractor pulling this trailer over there. And I said, what was it, an orange tractor? Yep, it was an orange tractor, enclosed cab, and probably had the air conditioning and all kinds of stuff in it. And Leola is about 20 miles away from where I was, and I was like, wow, this guy's traveling all around Lancaster County in a steel wheel tractor, the same as a vehicle, and I don't think it's any cheaper to have a tractor because there's steel wheels. They have to custom make each wheel for the equipment. It's not like a mass-produced situation, and it's pretty expensive. But it's just intriguing. How these people have these mindset that, hey, we can do this, but we can't do that. Mm-hmm. And it's all about religion, and but yeah. So anyhow, but one of these things with this drug that I'm on for this immune therapy, it revs up your immune system, and your body fights all different stuff. And the inbred redneck there, a couple weeks ago when I had poison ivy, and he had his homemade remedy, which I didn't use that, but it only lasted. It didn't even last a week. The pimples would break out, and the next day they would be drying up, and so I'm sort of liking this immune therapy, helping the different parts of my body, feel better and quicker. And Monday morning I woke up, and you know how you feel when you start to get a head cold, your nose is clogged up, your head feels odd, and 24 hours later it was all gone, and I don't have no more symptoms. And I told the doctor about it, and she's like, wow, maybe we should get a patent on this and start treating other people with this type of drug, but it's sort of expensive, so it's probably not going to happen. But anyhow, so yeah, I'm on the next phase of my treatment. It's 6-week intervals between doses now, but they give me a double dose, and I had it yesterday, and it was the first time I got a little sick in my stomach, but they have a drug for that, but I really can't take it while I'm driving because it says not supposed to take while driving. Operating a heavy vehicle, so I would probably think a truck probably would be a heavy vehicle. But, another thing I have to think about, this autonomous driving trucks. Normally we have to do a pre-trip and a post-trip and in-trip inspections. So who's going to be doing that? Mm-hmm. These autonomous trucks are driving around. Are they going to be able to tell when something goes wrong? A tire blows. Tire, you probably could have sounds and air pressure sensors and stuff. But and other things that go wrong, and they're looking about these companies that want just-in-time freight. And so when you're going to have a snowstorm, and they're talking about having the it's just being used for cross-country things. I mean, there's a lot of weather that can transition from one state to the other, or even just one county.
Mm-hmm.
And so the snowstorm, they're going to shut them down, and then the companies are going to be fussing that, hey, I ain't getting my stuff on time, and then I know how they holler and yell when we're late, it looks good on paper, I think, and the trucks don't have to stop probably, for driver's breaks and stuff like that, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not going to be such a great deal. But I'm sort of biased, I think. But anyhow, that's my opinion. But with Brain Dead on there, you talk about sports. The Phillies fired their manager on I guess Monday, and they have won every game since then. So that's working out pretty good for them. But, that makes me excited. And the Flyers won the first round of the playoffs, and I'm not sure what the Sixers are doing. I'm not much of a basketball fan, but anyhow. But, we're on our way to New York City again today and doing our thing. And, them guys, they're driving half in the shoulder and half on the right lane. I'm not sure what your problem is, but anyway, so, that's about all I have, and we'll speak at you later.
Good to hear from you. As always, Buckwheat, we'll look forward to seeing you about a week from now. Shortly after. This time next Friday morning, we'll be settled in at the hotel there, getting ready for the big Saturday Mother's Day truck convoy. Hard to believe it's almost here.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud? Always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
All right, a little more on this redistricting thing. Big in the news all of a sudden. Texas. That's where it all started. The U.S. Supreme Court cleared the way back in early December for a new Republican-backed map that targeted 5 Democrat-held seats. That was a 6-3 decision, with the 3 liberals dissenting. Overturned a lower court ruling that had concluded the map likely discriminated against minority voters. Governor Abbott signed that map into law back in August. Weeks earlier, more than 50 Democrat lawmakers fled the state, temporarily preventing a vote on that, as you may recall. Ultimately, they had to come back. Republicans already control 25 of the 38 seats under a Republican-drawn map from 2021. So that's potentially 5 seats. Florida, which, of course, this week, Governor DeSantis drew a new map looking to flip 4 Democrat-held seats called a special session, where the Republican majority passed it into law, Democrats vowing to challenge the map in court, citing a constitutional provision in the state that expressly bars the legislature from drawing districts purely for partisan gain. So Republicans already control 20 of the 28 seats in Florida after DeSantis and the legislature passed a map there in 2022 that actually flipped 4 Democrat seats. 1 seat in Missouri. The Republican governor signed a new map into law last September that dismantled a Democrat-held seat based in Kansas City. Opponents are attempting to force a voter referendum on that map. Several organizations have filed lawsuits challenging its legality. Ohio, a quirk in state law, required a new map for this year because the previous one was approved with no Democrat votes. The state's redistricting commission, which includes 5 Republicans and 2 Democrats, unanimously approved a compromise map in October that boosts the Republican chances of flipping 2 Democrat-held seats, but didn't go as far as Democrats had feared. Right now, Republicans hold 10 of the 15 seats in the state of Ohio. There's North Carolina, Louisiana. There's several others. I know Dan has some thoughts on that Supreme Court ruling. Dan, if you can hold through the news break here, we'll get you right out of the box on the flip side, after which plenty of room for you at 844-844-3388. News, a service of Industrial Injection, heavy-duty diesel parts and solutions from injectors and pumps to turbochargers and engines built for the trucks that can't afford downtime. It's industrialinjection.com to learn more.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. President Trump says Iran is dying to make a deal, telling reporters he is working to resolve the conflict while citing uncertainty over Iran's leadership after recent strikes.
If we didn't have that B-2 bomber, if we didn't go in and do what we did, we obliterated that nuclear capacity of theirs.
He expects gas prices to fall once the war comes to an end. War Secretary Pete Hegseth faced sharp questioning from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand during a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on the Iran war. Lawmakers pressed him on cost, strategy, and casualties.
So the question I would ask to you and to others is, what is the cost of a nuclear-armed Iran? What is the cost to the American people if the world's most dangerous regime has a nuclear weapon?
Hegseth says the clock is stopped due to the ceasefire.
At the closing bell, the Dow climbed 790 points, the S&P 500 rose 73 points, and the Nasdaq gained 219 points. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Commerce moves fast. Your business should too. If you're not on the first page of search results, you're losing customers. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Don't let that be you. iLocal.net has helped local businesses dominate search results since 2009. For a limited time, iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Local business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Call 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis. Don't wait. Call 888-699-2407. That's 888-699-2407. For your free website analysis, call 888-699-2407.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit. With a threaded Torque Lock design, these cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit cb.sycamorewellness.us.
Your factory fuel filter is letting you down. AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel systems don't just filter your fuel. The AirDog fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The factory-provided filter simply removes particulates and water from fuel. The AirDog system removes all contaminants, including entrained air, water, and particulates, and feeds the engine pump with optimal pressure. Check out airdogdiesel.com to learn how you can capture every bit of performance and efficiency from your fuel system.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
All roads lead to Manheim, Pennsylvania Mother's Day weekend. Join Steve Sommers Saturday, May 9th at the 37th Annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy at the Manheim, Pennsylvania Auto Auction. The event features a family fest with food trucks, games, entertainment, plus a cargo of Wish Kids riding in the trucks on the new 33-mile route that travels through Lancaster and Dauphin County and Route 283 West. Join our team, or if you can't make it but want to make a difference for Make-A-Wish by making a donation, get all the details at overnightdriveradio.com.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Good to have you with us as we roll on through the late night, early morning hours. Get a new day, Friday, underway. Oh, yeah, first day of May. How about that? May Day. Coming up here in a few days. What is it, May the 4th, isn't it? Star Wars Day, right? May the 4th be with you. You're going to hear that next week. Bank on it. Hey, Dan, thanks for hanging in there. Good morning.
No problem. Good morning, Steve. I hope you're doing well. This case, I think it's called Calais from Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's a landmark case. And when you add that up with the case out of that overturned the Roe v. Wade decision, thank God, the so-called right to an abortion, and that was used the 14th Amendment. But this one here, what it says is you can't use race to come up with a congressional district. So like Louisiana, the governor actually postponed the primary because he's saying that the district that this case was based on, the district started in Shreveport on the Texas border, the district did, and it wound its way down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 80 miles, I believe, from New Orleans, to come up with a district that was so-called a black district. Well, we would never go out and say we're going to start a school district, but we want all the blacks in one school district. You cannot use race as the determinant in coming up with something like this. And they're looking, I think, at a minimum of about 8. The Republicans could pick up 8 seats, and many as 12 to 15, because other states, Florida just changed their map, and it's in accordance. But on the other hand, Virginia had just recently amended their constitution, and then they turn around and have a vote overturning what they amended, and their own Supreme Court, state Supreme Court in Virginia, will not allow them to put their map forward. And I'm sure that's a Democrat-controlled state Supreme Court in Virginia. So the Democrats, as they said, are hopping mad. And I don't know. I mean, Tennessee has one congressional district that was designed to be a black district, and they're looking at a way to eliminate it. I mean, it's got every state that has one of these all black districts upset, because the Republican state legislators in Missouri, they were just as guilty of it. Oh, we got to preserve this district as a... No, that's not what the voting rights law said. So I find it, I mean, that's one thing that President Trump's done with his Supreme Court picks, is put people who are under strict constitutionalists, and it certainly is proving to be a victory for people who want the rule of law respected, the rule of the Constitution. You know, you cannot use race-based preferences. And there's more going to fall, too. I mean, there's more of these affirmative action. I haven't heard that in 2 or 3 years. Have you?
No.
You know, that. Yeah, in other words, affirmative action in hiring. Well, what do you mean? Well, we have to hire individuals based on their race. Well, it'd be no different than if we said we have to hire a white person. And quite frankly, it might have gotten down to that, you know, where they say, well, we have too many blacks, so now we have to hire a white. And I don't know if you ever remember, this went back into the 80s. A young lady had scored. Michigan is a very competitive school to get into. She's from the state of Michigan. She had perfect scores, ACT and the SAT, and a perfect grade point average before it became so common to get that. And she turned around and sued the University of Michigan because the idiot sent her a letter of rejection saying that basically that you're white and we can't admit you to this school. And she sued and it went to the Supreme Court, and she won. And Michigan offered her a job. She was or a place back in enrollment, and she was, I believe, already at the University of Texas, and said, no, I don't want to come. So, I mean, these schools that do this, some of these, there's a book out right now by Elise Stefanik. It should be a bestseller. I think she calls it The Poison Ivy. And it's about the Ivy League schools that most of these Ivy League schools, 30 to 40% of their enrollment is foreigners, not, and they've dropped. Does somebody honestly think that Ketanji Jackson Brown, who just sounds so ignorant, I mean, she went to Harvard. Well, she said she went to Harvard because of race-based preferences. She said that herself.
Wow.
So, yeah, and it's clearly that the woman really, if you want to look at that, Biden was the idiot that said, I'm going to have to choose a black woman to be on the Supreme Court. I'm going to have to choose a black woman to be the vice president. So you could almost say that Jackson Brown is, you can't impeach her for that because there was an idiot in the White House. But, to say I'm choosing you because you're black, that makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm very glad that this decision came down, that they are eliminating these so-called black districts. It's insulting to blacks. It really is.
And did we lose you, Dan? Hello, Dan. Okay. All right, it's 844-844-3388. I was scouring for, I got an update in the NASCAR world. Yeah, we'll get to that coming up here. Other industry headlines. Republicans also raising alarms about the kill switch, a new vehicle safety requirement that could introduce some intrusive monitoring technology, including a system capable of disabling a car against the driver's will, the kill switch, as they call it. More on that just ahead. Meanwhile, clear lines at 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
With only a month to go until polling goes full throttle for the summer, teams are getting ready to hit the track in Evansville. Welcome to the NTPA Overnight Report from the NTPA headquarters in Marion, Ohio. I'm Greg Hunter. The next hook is the Busch Light Nationals in Evansville, Indiana, May 28th through the 30th at the Vandenberg 4-H Center. With 4 sessions over 3 days, it's going to be a weekend of horsepower. Mark your calendar. The defending champ in the light Superstock's Colton Whitworth is getting ready to defend his title in 2026, and we had a chance to catch up with him before the season got underway. So Colton, the season begins in about a month or so in Evansville, Indiana. What's the main focus a month out? What are you doing right now?
Oh, it's just mainly putting everything back together. Took everything apart during the winter to freshen everything up and do a few updates and make a few changes, and hopefully some of that helps. We got some dynoing to do and get that stuff all put back together, and hopefully we'll be ready in time there at the end of May for Evansville.
All right, I'm going to ask the question. I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Are you going to tell us some of the changes you made?
I'm probably just going to keep that under wraps for now, but hopefully it all works out. I guess one thing we did build a brand new tractor, new chassis, motor. No part of it's been down the track before, so
oh wow,
it's going to be kind of a challenge.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I know you've been polling for a long time, your family has. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about how you got your start? Do you remember any of your first hooks, maybe the first time you went down the track?
When I was right around 10 years old, our local county fair had some farm pulling, brush pull type stuff, and pulled a naturally aspirated cock shut right around in there. But my dad and grandpa started pulling in 2007, some light limited supers. So they're ultimately the ones that got me into it, and had a lot of fun ever since, slowly evolving and upgrading and getting to the point where we are now.
Because it's kind of been in your blood for the last 20 years.
Yeah, no, I've always been fascinated with horsepower and dirt. So
I know the feeling. I'm right there with you. So You've been pulling in the light supers for a long time, for a number of years. What makes you keep coming back year after year?
Oh, just that adrenaline rush, really. I mean, I've run a few light limited modifieds, and those were fun, but there's just, in my opinion, nothing quite like an alcohol super stock when those multi-turbos come to life. It's just a sensation you can't describe.
I was just going to ask, could you kind of give us an idea what it's like when the turbos build? But I guess you can't.
It's hard to explain, but it's something that I don't feel like you can experience in anything else, that's for sure.
We'll have part 2 of our chat with NTPA champion Colton Wentworth next week on the NTPA Overnight Report, where he shares something that always has to be in the toter for Poland season. This has been the NTPA Overnight Report. I'm Greg Hunter. Remember, pull hard.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant